I just woke up from a nap and that's why I look so puffy. But I haven't recorded in a while. Key here is that I have been going for driving classes for four-wheeler for a while now and my driving test is tomorrow. But I also registered for scooty at that point and I have not driven a scooty for more than like 3 hours. Fun fact, they scheduled the real test for tomorrow and they did this last week. I had like a week to figure out my scooty situation. Oh, something's wrong with my hijab. And I called this another local school near my house and told them I need 5 classes and I called them on Friday, which was kind of on me. Then I was like, yeah, I need 5 classes before Tuesday. So today's a Monday. And they were like, haan, chalega, ho jayega. And then I didn't even blink an eye. I didn't even like bother going to the school and checking with them. I paid them like 2,000 rupees. They have been dodging my calls since then. So he said Saturday and Sunday I'll give you 3 hours. Then yesterday like he made me like run around and then he didn't give me any hours. And then today also obviously they didn't pick up my calls. I had to take a nap to recover from the fact that I got scammed. Oh my god, something's really going wrong. At this point I'm just like, okay, fine, I lost money, it was on me being stupid. But the other part, I'm like, imagine going to the RTO and failing a scooty test. I failed. I don't know what I was expecting going to the test with having like collectively 3 hours of scooty driving practice. That too, I wouldn't even say 3 hours. 3 hours also is like a bit of a stretch. My brain was like, girl, you've edged so many things this year, so obviously you can do it. And then I failed, and I failed so embarrassingly. It was particularly embarrassing to me because so many people before me passed scooty. I didn't even fail in like an elegant manner. I went and like hit on the footpath in the track, and I was like, well, this is what happens. And in my head, it just became such a big thing, right? Firstly, because I could have so easily passed this if I had some practice from anywhere, like from the driving school that I enrolled in. Secondly, many people saw me fail. Others, maybe they would have failed, I don't know, but then at least they completed the track. I just went and like crashed. It's like crazy because so many people were watching me. People were obviously really sweet and really nice. One guy was like, you were really tense, you were really in your head. And I was really in my head because the last time I was on a scooty, my dad fell from the scooty and that's been like flashing in my head. I remember the entire auto ride home, I was beating myself up for being so bad at something, forgetting that I didn't even try. I didn't even invest time into it to be good. But yeah, being raised in a very competitive manner, I feel like I have been programmed to instantly feel like a skill doesn't come for me if I'm not decent at it on the first go itself. And to be fair, I was decent. I could have fallen and had like a whole walk of shame, but now I just had like an awkward scooty zoom of shame. I got so enraged in that auto ride back home. Tears are like streaming down. That's why I look like super crusty right now. I got super frustrated. I was like, first of all, I could have been a bit better if I at least had some scooty exposure in the past couple of days. But then because I got scammed by that stupid driving school, I was like like I became like Vallav Geeta. I started spam calling them. The last half of the ride back home, I was like continuously calling him like all their numbers. I think I called them like 12 times back to back. I was like, you know what? I don't deserve this. Because more than like the money, it was 2K, which is a lot. But in the grand scheme of things, how much is it? Like, how much is it worth my mental peace? That's what I was thinking. It's still a lot, but then more than the money part, I was so triggered that I failed. It was obviously because I didn't have enough practice and I was pushed to the last day by this driving school who obviously scammed me. And then I'm like, excuse me? The audacity to scam me like that. I was so pressed that I failed. Because this story would have ended like a bit differently, being like, guys, I passed without even like type. But obviously I didn't, because come back to reality, Safia. If you don't know how to drive, why will they pass you? Dear God, please. Anyways, yeah, I called them like so many times and obviously they didn't pick up. And I was like, I'll keep calling you. Like, I you know, looking back at it, I feel like this is what Geeta would have gone through. I came home and I wrote like a huge detailed review, like, you know, it's like paragraphs long, like a full essay, like English exam essay. I wrote it, and then I was like, you know what, I will put this review with all these screenshots. I'll expose your phone number, I'll put all these screenshots, I'll also send it to all my friends, and then I'll post it on my account also, which has like over 100 followers. I was like enraged. Like, you know, I don't see myself as somebody that gets triggered super fast at external people that I don't like, people that I don't know much. But then I was like enraged, man. Like, first it was the money. First one half of it was the money. Other half was like, I could have passed. I really feel like I could have passed. I just had it, okay? Don't come at me saying, like, you know, you crashed and stuff. And another part of me that took it so much to heart was the fact that, you know, there's this stereotype that like women aren't as good drivers as men, right? I feel like I took that also so much into my system, and I was like, maybe I don't know how to drive because I'm a woman. Maybe I wasn't planned, oh blah blah blah. And I was like, I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy of this skill. Macha, if you put time into the skill, you will be worthy, da. I was like, everybody, like, women went before me, so women are clearly good at it. I am not even, like, you know, there properly. Like tears were coming down. I came home and I wrote the entire review. I was like, as if something's gonna happen. But I was like, you know, he got 4-star review. You know, I'll make all of my friends and everybody put bad review and bring his review down, bring his like entire rating down, so that basically nobody else gets scammed. Because I was like flustered with this, all of these reasons of like why I'm such a big, you know, failure. Then I was writing the entire review in like full rage, and then I finished writing, and then I had like my screenshots ready with like the call logs and then the payment screenshots and everything. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna put this on Google review. And then right as I'm about to like open Google reviews, this guy messages me being like, 2K deta hu. And I was like, Kab. He didn't reply, okay? He just saw the message. And I was like, Abhi dalo, warna मैं Google में bad review with all screenshots. And then I thought I did something there. I really thought I did something there. And then I sent screenshot to my friends and I was like, see guys, I can also be mean. What a threat. But yeah, thankfully, like, when I sent that message, he refunded my 2K. So I'm gonna take it. Oh, win is a win. And plus, I did pass my car DL, which I have been practicing. Not that I'm a bad driver. You know, and you know what? Maybe I'm not like born to drive a two-wheeler. I don't know. Okay. Fact is, I'll probably be decent at it if I spend some time on it. It's not such a hard skill. I know how to drive a cycle, ride a cycle. Yeah. That's been the entire thing, and it's so crazy because did you guys hear that Teams beep? I don't think that's for me. I don't think that meeting is for me. Please don't be like me, guys. Do not go for your driving test without practice. I do have confidence that I will get my DL for Scooty. If everybody can do it, why can I not do it? And I feel like I am like at the edge of it, right? I keep replaying that moment in my mind, and I'm like, so embarrassing. And the thing is, if you think about it, right, it's not really embarrassing because is it really embarrassing to fail? You know, that's something that I feel like I need to unlearn, that like failing means like embarrassing, because I don't think failing is embarrassing. Like if this happened to any of my friends or anybody I know, I wouldn't think that, oh, embarrassing. That wouldn't be my first thought. It's just kind of sad that, you know, we are programmed to think about ourselves in that way. After my whole mentee B and cry session, I really figured out that like, okay, this is not something that, you know, I should be thinking about so much, because it's like moping over an exam that you wrote without studying for it. What were you expecting? Okay, I was a little bit delulu, okay? Hello. Wow. Hi. So it's been 2 days since I failed the Scooty DL test. Now that I've had some more time to process it, I really am beginning to understand why I reacted the way I did. First thing is that I obviously took it so personally that the day that I failed the DL test, day before yesterday, I went to sleep. and I hadn't thought about it in a while. Like, I completely forgot about it. And I closed my eyes, and there's like flashes of like people telling me I failed, the interactions that I've had with like 4 or 5 people regarding me failing, and all those flashes are like coming in front of my eyes, and I'm like, dude, it's not that deep. In my head, I'm like, is it so deep that it is affecting my sleep? I'm not somebody who usually has a lot of things keeping me awake, and this just came up in my head without me thinking about it, if that makes sense. Like, I closed my eyes and it just came. Why is it bothering me so much? I couldn't sleep for like a good half an hour. After that, I woke up, right? I woke up and the same thing happened. I wake up and the first thing in front of me is like, oh, you failed, madam. And I was like, now that I've had some more time to process it, I am of a very strong opinion that you cannot be sad over something when you didn't even put effort into it. Like, what was I expecting when I haven't even had scooty experience? What was I expecting to happen? Like, magically I'll go there and be like, vroom vroom, pass. So in that sense, it was really like surprising to me that this is my very strong opinion. Like, I have written exams before in university where I just barely studied and I got the marks which I studied for, and I didn't feel too bad. I was like, could have studied then. I didn't bother fretting over it so much. But now I am so confused. Why? Why did I feel so bad? Especially when I'm of this opinion. I was watching a video today about somebody was saying something, and he mentioned one thing, that all of us are very self-absorbed, that we keep thinking about what we are doing and how it looks to the rest of the world. But then nobody cares because we keep looking at ourselves. We think that everybody else is also looking at us. That is when I realized, oh man, that is the main problem with me. Like, it's not that I actually failed, because it's not a life-changing thing. That was when I realized that when I started posting videos, there was a lot of fear, there was a lot of limiting beliefs in my head. Oh, what are people gonna think? People are gonna judge me, and the way I speak, the way I look, things that I'm talking about, everything. So it really takes some sort of putting yourself out of the equation and looking at it from a third perspective to kind of see that, okay, not that big of a deal. You don't even have followers. Nobody's watching you. I think that is the silver lining. I was also really surprised why I felt so embarrassed on that day, when I have been embarrassed so many times in university. Like, if you studied with me, you would have seen me fall at least once in the 4 years that I was in college. So I was like, Safia, you've done like crazier things, not falling but other things. This was just very simple, right? And I can't take the test again. Like, what is the big deal? And that's when I realized that, applying that thing to other areas of my life, that nobody really cares as much as you think, I just didn't do that to this area. That is why I was so caught up. Like, basically it was a hit to my ego, if I have to be very honest, because I was like, I know how to drive a cycle. But this, subconsciously me holding on to this, made me realize that maybe at some level it is that deep, and at some level I am not practicing what I want to and what I believe in. And the first thing is, nobody's watching, so no need to care so much about oh my god, every minor detail. And the second thing is, your results are going to be proportional to how much effort you put. So as you sow, so shall you reap. It just made me so frustrated that I was not able to apply that in this particular scenario in my life. And I was like, wow, Safia, wow, not even following what you believe in. I realized that this is the kind of work that I should be doing, that I shouldn't get so consumed in my ego. And now that I'm thinking about it days later, those guys go through like hundreds of people a day. There was so many people that day. Is it even bad? But the reason I'm kind of recording this and I'm putting this out there is because I have always wanted to get my driver's license since I was like 15. So I'd keep asking my dad. I have permanently been sitting on the passenger seat in the car, and I'd keep asking my dad, what's this, what's that, what's that. Obviously, he didn't let me drive until I turned 18. But after 18, I didn't really get a chance to go to driving school or any of that, because I had to move to India for my undergrad. So now was the time where I finally had some space to start learning to drive. So I was just super excited, and I was just really bummed that I can't do that now for a two-wheeler. But I know that like if I get a two-wheeler or if I get classes, am I going to fail? Most probably no. That is the point where you don't get so consumed by what people think.